Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another video. As you can see by the title, this is going to be about Tag Der Toten. Just a new Easter egg I solved. Nothing crazy. It's not really in-game. It's something similar like you see on the screen right now. It's just a reference to some pop culture stuff that they used for the map in Tag Der Toten. In this one, first I wanted to kind of just show you an example of stuff that they've always done in Black Ops. The original Black Ops 1. The first strike poster was taken inspiration from Inglourious Bastards, something that's been in Call of Duty Zombies for the last couple of years, at least 10 years. As you guys know, first strike from Black Ops was, I think, the first DLC, which I think is about around 2010 or so. And it was used for zombies. You can see how it kind of is taking inspiration from it. Now, the thing I have to always mention to people is they can't copy it exactly for obvious copyright legal reasons. They just take inspiration from it and stuff from the map. As you'll see, is aside from the poster, there's stuff in the map Tag Der Toten that is taken from Inglourious Bastards, and that's kind of how it always went hand in hand. It's just to kind of hint, either play homage or inspiration, to some of the movies and pop culture. In Inglourious Bastards, towards the end of the movie, the Tag Der Toten movie theater gets burnt, and that's how we ended up with our burnt out movie theater in Kino. In the movie, they call it Kino also. They obviously don't call it Tag Der Toten. They just call it Kino, which means, I think, movie theater in German. So it was a hint or pay homage or take inspiration from Inglourious Bastards and kind of show you how they come up with this stuff. So again, that's just one example. The last few weeks I've been talking about Twilight Zone, and I've also mentioned once you solve one thing, you can kind of go back now and see how there's a lot of Twilight Zone stuff. This isn't going to be about Twilight Zone, but I just wanted to kind of give you another example that once you start seeing maybe Jimmy Zielinski at the time, or some of the devs, or maybe the Treyarch head of the studios, maybe they had some favorite movies, favorite TV shows. I just kind of want to show you, generally speaking, how they come up with this stuff. Again, Inglourious Basterds, a movie from like the 2000s. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie, and there's some other stuff in there. Even Der Rock ties into it. So just kind of some backstory. So as you guys know, again, this is going to be about Tag Der Toten, and Tag Der Toten is a secret Easter egg. The people accidentally glitched into it. You go outside of the map. There's a hole in an iceberg or floating ice. You go in the hole and you pop out to this scene, which is Mars, hinting at, well, what people are saying, and I'm not going to try and debunk and try to figure anything out, but obviously it's almost trolling or giving us answers about Shangri-La being on Mars. Now this is saying that Tag Der Toten was based on one of the moons of Mars. That's the kind of theory and stuff that we kind of went with when Black Ops 4 came out, and Tag Der Toten was the final ether map. Again, we just went face value, I guess, and just said, oh, this is showing us or confirming that Shangri-La was on Mars. It plays the Mars loading screen theme, and then maybe while you're playing Shangri-La, maybe at the same time, kind of like Nuketown and I think Moon, that everything's going on together at the same time. So people coming up with theories or ideas that, hey, maybe when we're playing Shangri-La, the stuff that's happening in Tag Der Toten is also happening on the moon of Mars at the same time. And that's why we get the eclipse and the eclipse in Shangri-La and stuff like that. So again, going back to the pop culture reference, this is the loading screen for Tag Der Toten, and like I mentioned just now, heavily based on Mars. Obviously a huge Mars location in Tag Der Toten, and this always bothered me for years. I know it's been now, what has it been like? This is 2018, about 2019, so it's been like 4 years, roughly 4, even 5 years now. It's crazy how fast time goes. Since Black Ops 4 came out, there's at the bottom, I'm going to use my mouse, so this is going to be kind of weird, but down here you can see little faces and zombies, and the same thing. Most of it just said, oh, it's just zombie faces, hinting that, um, zombies are underground, they're popping out, and that's how we got the zombies on Tag Der Toten in Siberia, and Tunguska and all that stuff. So there's a lot of different theories, which none of it we'll ever know, because that's not the point of it anyways, because people are saying this could be the moon, it could be Mars, it could be the Tunguska event happening where the meteor just struck and it's exploded and the dead people on the ground are going to pop out. The zombie, the radiation, the 114 crash to Earth, and there's a lot of theories going around. And I'm not going to try and talk too much about that, because everybody has a theory. None of it's right. None of it's wrong. It's all just kind of, it all makes sense. Let's put it that way. Because we don't know at the end of the day if that's the sun, the moon, Mars, the Tunguska event. It all kind of jives together. Now, this is just the thing that I'm thinking about, though, is I wonder if the faces, the way it's lined up almost the same, was a hint to Mars attacks, or they took inspiration from it, to kind of hint that, hey, there's something with Mars there. Again, my theory would be, like, we don't know what would happen with the Ether story. There was new directors basically every couple of years. There was Jimmy, and then Jason, and then oh gosh, Kevin. So we have different directors and stuff like that throughout the years. Every director is going to want their own story, maybe linking it a little bit to the past. But if you look at the way the Mars attacks loading screen looks compared to the skulls on the bottom, how one of it is, it's a staggered pattern, I guess they call it, or you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then at the bottom you get 1, 2, 3, filling in. Same exact thing like Mars attacks, how you have the brain or the heads, and then it staggers ever so often, and then obviously this looks like one here. So it looks like to me, again, this is probably just a silly little solve, a little playing homage to movies. There could be some Easter eggs on the map that none of us have even solved yet, because I know with Horizon dropped recently, there's stuff that people are just noticing. Well, no, I don't want to say that. I guess stuff is popping up again or resurfacing that people really never noticed before, or some people never noticed, like myself, even though other people have noticed it. So there could be something on Mars that, sorry, on Tag Der Toten that ties into Mars Attacks, the movie, that maybe we haven't solved yet. And that's just pretty much it until something else comes out or anybody sees anything else. I just thought that it reminded me of that, and it all makes sense. And the movie's about these aliens come to Earth, they get spooked, and then they attack the humans and kind of wipe out the humans, and stuff like that. There is some theories about, did they get spooked and decide to attack Earth, or were they always going to attack Earth and always had the intention of attacking Earth? That's the only other thing that I got from the movie, is people, and I think the director left it open for that, where you don't know if they intended on attacking Mars, because there's a scene in the movie where a dove flies over and it spooks them. For some reason, maybe their planet doesn't have birds, or birds were their enemies, and on Mars. But I mean, there's theories out there read on Reddit, why the aliens attacked. Well, I should say Martians attacked in the movie. I know there's a scene with birds, but there's no backstory about why the aliens don't like birds or why they're scared of birds. But I guess we'll never know that unless the director of the movie comes out and explains why the Martians were scared of birds, anything that flew. Unless I'll maybe keep digging to see why they didn't like birds or doves in the movie. But again, it looks like it's maybe taking inspiration from that, or hinting at that. Again, it looks like it lines up perfectly. Again, going back to the Mars stuff, and they've always used stuff from pop culture, movie posters, to kind of come up with the maps and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. See you guys later.